everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. Before I start, can I just apologise for the last video that I put out, because it was the wrong thumbnail with the wrong video. So you probably clicked on and thought, my gosh, that's been over really quickly. I was away from home, my teenage son uploaded it, and when I said it's the wrong one, he was like, meh. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Anyway, the right one is there, and you can tell because it's got a steamy thumbnail. It was the only one I could find that I thought, let's just get that out. Today's reading is going to be, what will your next romantic situation be like? You have got three choices. As usual, you've got coral haze, almond and grass green. If you want to take your choice, then we'll get going. Okay, I'm going to start. Whatever I say now probably will sound really silly. This has a feeling of your next romantic situation of still sexuality. Yeah, I don't know what that means either. There's a feeling here of two people who are very virile. There's something about the pair of you that's very sexual. There's something about the way that you move, the way that you hold your bodies, the way that you think, the things that you think about. It's like it's all kicking off inside you, inside the both of you, and you can both smell it, is what it feels like. It feels like you've got Psyche, you've got the 8th house. It makes me think of a situation where there's a lot of underground reverberations. You've got the Ace of Wands to me, which is probably one of the most sexual cards in the pack, especially for the minor arcana, minor pips, or whatever they are. And then you've got the Queen of Wands, and this Queen of Wands is slightly different because they're both like Wands cards. I'm thinking sexuality. I'm thinking of a straightforward pull that is just nice, you know, it's just there, it's very open, it's very animalistic in many ways. But this Queen of Wands is slightly different because she's got the stars in her eyes. It makes me think with Psyche here in the 8th house, there's a lot going on underneath the surface. It feels like two people in a party, in a situation, nothing is said, but you can feel each other's bodies from the other side of the room, if that makes sense. You know, when you stand next to somebody, you don't have to say anything, but you can feel what the other person's thinking, or the way that they stand. It's like you both know it. Not much is said about it, but you know what's coming. You've got here the King of Swords and the Knight of Wands. This is, to me, I guess the next person to come into your life, whether you know this person or not, is somebody who's probably quite intellectual, but somebody who, I don't know, I'm thinking rugby player there. Somebody who is not afraid to move. Do you know, it makes me think of like a Scorpio Aries, and I don't actually mean this person will have those in, you know, both of them in there, but Scorpio Aries both have a strong sexual pull. It's very similar but very different at the same time. Sometimes I get them both mixed up because they both seem you can feel the energy coming off the pair of them, but one says little and the other one actually no, that's not true. Both can say little, but one is raw and one is volcanic, and I don't know if that makes sense, but this has a feeling of your next romantic encounter this person's got something about them. This person is like a draw that you don't normally have. It's like a draw like no other, and you're there trying to be very grounded about the whole thing, trying to be very in control. And I'm wondering what the next cards are going to be, because sometimes this has a feeling of a relationship where you think that everything's all in control, and you start entering it and you think, you know, even if you're on like dodgy ground, you start entering it thinking that I can cope with this, everything's fine, and then it takes the air out of you. It literally takes the air out of you. Possibly you could not be, or you weren't expecting there to be that much attraction. Possibly. It definitely feels like things left unsaid and attraction that is almost quite painful in some ways. You know, I keep saying this often, I don't know if it's just me, I don't think there's many people that you meet in your life that really make you think about your attraction or make you aware of how you're reacting, even if you don't want to be reacting like that. There's normally, I would guess, depends whether you're Sagittarius. Sagittarius tend to find, because they're so open, they find lots of different type of people attractive. Perhaps people, I'm trying to think, Cancer less so. Cancer less so. But there are those people that normally when stars align as well, I've got to say that, it's true. They make you think of things in a different way. Psyche in the 8th house makes me think here your next romantic situation could possibly have a lot of foreplay in the, not in the correct term of the word, but as in it takes a long time of rumbling. It's like you trying to find out information, because the 8th house is research. It's like, he's asking about you, she's asking about you, and you're just trying to find out bits about each other. You sort of get snippets from people and it's like, oh yeah, and you're pretending not to look like you're interested. Oh yeah. Just ask that other question, see if it leads on until they get that look in their eye and they think, yeah, we know why you're asking this question. It feels like trying to grasp information. It feels like passion, and it feels like you with the Queen of Wands up there, whether you're male or female, it's like you feel the pull, but you're looking for other reasons to it. It's like there's got to be something behind this, because you don't feel it very often. And your person, I think, is probably a mixture of, when I said rugby player, it doesn't have to, actually, I was going to say something that was rather sexist then, but I was just about to say one of the people that I know in the village, she plays rugby for England. So, she used to. No, actually, that's a big porcupine. She used to when she was in college. But it feels like somebody who studies during the day and plays sport. It's that type of the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords. I can't read them because it's getting quite dark. It's a feeling of somebody who's quite intellectual, somebody who likes to read, somebody who likes to converse, probably to debate in some way. But with the Knight of Wands, this is somebody who doesn't mind packing their bag and going snowboarding or going mountain climbing or going to Tibet or there's like an adventure there, and there's like an intellectual air about this person, and you're almost trying to be grounded in this scenario and take it all in, because it's like something, you get this feeling of a little fish taking do they eat off the bottom of the tangle? Do they eat off the top? It feels like you. It's like, oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. And you're swimming closer and closer, and it's like going to a whirlpool. I'm thinking of Darla now. Okay, you're like next row. Okay. I did a private reading the other day and the King of Cups came up, and I was thinking, when you're in school and you're told not to use this word, nice. And I think that actually fits the King of Cups really well. It's that guy, it's that man or that woman who you look at and think they are nice, and you genuinely mean it. It's not like a frivolous word that you just put them down. It's like they're nice. It's like they're nice to people. It just feels like the King of Cups always to me feels like somebody who has all their emotions together in some way, that they actually treat people with respect. They treat people warmly, and they treat people like they want to be treated, which sounds really boring, isn't it? It is like an assembly in school, but that person that you have coming towards you is nice. A good man or a good woman. There is a feeling here as well that there's communication that goes on initially, but both of you pretending that it's nothing else is going on apart from communication. It feels like the communication with the Ace of Swords here is very open and very easy. Probably coming across here as the King of Swords. This guy might be quite, I keep saying guy, I don't actually mean that. This guy, this girl may be a charmer. You may be somebody who's very good with their words. I want to say glib them, but I don't actually mean that. I think that's been said to me, I'm sure, by my mum. Very... You can turn the charm on when need be. And that's why I keep thinking of rugby, because I suppose here rugby initially, hundreds of years ago, was always associated with like public schools type of feeling, wasn't it? So I'm sort of thinking somebody who plays sports, somebody who's got the gift of the gab in some way. I'm thinking that well spoken. But it's like you communicate and you're both there wondering, oh, you know, that's just normal. It's just the way we talk, but you're hoping for more, the pair of you. Right. This has got a strange feeling. This has got a feeling of your next romantic, your next, oh my God, your next romantic situation will be nice. You will, honestly. It just looks like you've got the King of Cups, you've got the Ten of Pentacles. It feels like you're at, you know, that sort of four weddings and a funeral feeling where you're at a situation where there's lots of people around and it's very conventional. Everything's set up in a certain way. There's a certain protocol. You're supposed to follow it. You meet nice, Mr. or Mrs. Nice. And the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Swords here, it's like communication starts firing off. It feels like it's just like ding-a-ding-a-ding straight away. As if you see this person, then you get talking, and it does honestly feel like, it feels exciting to me. You've got the Ace, as I've just said, the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Wands. It just feels really exciting. It feels like somebody who you run off to the toilet and you're phoning your boyfriend, phoning your girlfriend and saying, you never guess who I've just met. This, you know, it's that type of feeling. But it's almost, there's a feeling, a veneer here of pretending that everything's normal. It's almost like control over the top of this. There is a slight hint here of doing something that may be slightly voyeuristic. Is that a word? Because I'm thinking voyeurism. I don't know if there's such a word as voyeuristic. It feels like there's a lot of watching, and I don't know what I'm talking about here. You know, it's like you show them a little bit more than they're meant to see, and you both know you're doing it. That type of feeling. I used to work with a guy that I used to work in a swimming pool when I was a younger kid, 20s. And I used to work with guys that used to make up these fantastic lies about what girls were doing to them or showing them while they were working in the swimming pool with me. And I was like, you're just making that up. But this just have that feeling about it. It feels like I'm going to say something slipped in. I don't actually mean that, but something is slipped into the meeting that is very obvious, but can be taken either way, if that makes sense. It's like something shown, something said, and it's coming from you towards them. And it's like Mr. or Mrs. Nice Guy is, oh my God, I don't know how to take that. And it feels as if there's like a pull between the pair of you. I don't know if this makes sense. That is, you look as if you know more what you're doing. You look as if you're in more control of yourself. They look as if they are possibly taken away with the moment more than you are. And it's you both, there's a huge amount of trying to read each other here. It feels almost as if you have this person in the palm of your hand a little bit. You're coming across more control. Your person's coming across, as in life, probably showing up very controlled, very much on the exterior. People will say that this man or this woman has got everything together. You know, this person, it's a type of person that people introduce. You say, have you met so-and-so? Isn't she lovely? Isn't he lovely? You know, as in everybody knows this person. It feels like somebody who is known by quite a lot of people, and everybody thinks they're a beautiful person. And then you're meeting them thinking, well, possibly I'm not going to take that on, and then woof, you do. Okay. The outcome to this situation makes me think that because it feels like a normal everyday event, you separate. It's like you separate with subliminal messages going on between the pair of you. The Six of Swords here makes me think that that's the separation. The Judgment card makes me think that it's almost cut there and dry, you know, numbers are on exchange or that type of thing, or you both know the situation possibly can't go any further. But the Magician is, it almost makes me think with these cards together, it almost makes me feel like the devil, that there's manipulation, great word, behind the scenes of trying to get in contact with this person again. They're trying to, let's go see who's trying to get in contact with who. They're trying to get in contact. They're trying to get information about you. Okay, right, I'm going to start summing this up, pile number 1. Your next romantic situation feels like an everyday event. It doesn't feel so much like a work situation at all. It feels as if it's like a traditional celebration or something like that is, it feels like evening to me. I don't know why. This person that you're going to come into contact with may be introduced to you and it's like, oh no, isn't he lovely? Isn't she lovely? And it feels as if there's almost like a slight reserve about you where you're not going to take on what other people think. And then you start talking to this person, the excitement starts kicking in, the communication starts kicking in, and it all starts kicking off. It feels as if you just got on really well, and it feels as if there's a tension between you. It feels like you've got a bit of fire in you, the pair of you, where sexuality is a big, let's say a big issue, it's a big deal, it needs to be there in this relationship, and you're both feeling it. Your person feels to me, Scorpio, Aries, I don't know why. I don't know why. 8th house, possibly Ace of Wands. And it feels sexual, this pile here. But it also makes me feel that you're in control of the situation. It feels like you're the one that walks over to them and introduces yourself. You're the one that starts the conversation off, and you're the one that walks away without giving a number. And it feels like your person here is the one that's actually digging around trying to find out more. And with this Psyche in the 8th house, as well, there's always a feeling here, I don't know where I've got this from, of almost like after you've split up, and I get a feeling here that you just move out of the situation that you meet in, you're both wondering where each other are. Him, I think, or she more than you. And it feels as if there's like a time lapse between you meeting again that's quite natural. And I'm thinking like a moon cycle or something that's quite natural, you know, like a month later or something. It's not like, you know, this person here is trying to find out information about you, but it feels like there's no need to. If there was advice for your person, it's like, don't bother because you'll come into contact again. And that always happens, doesn't it? You know, the moment that you really want to see, actually it's the other way around, the moment you really don't want to see somebody is the moment they turn up. One of my family has left the job recently in quite, well, I would say quite hard terms, where won't give you too much detail, but she said, God, if I met my boss, I'd die. Never met him, you know, outdoors or in a shopping centre. She will. I know she will. It's always that way, isn't it? The moment you don't want to, or it happens, and this feels the same. It's like, not that you don't want to, it just feels like it's all going to come back in and start kicking off again. I just get a feeling here, do you know when you start saying really silly things and you can't stop yourself, of snorkelling. You know, you're snorkelling when you're abroad, not in the British Sea, because honestly it's like ice blocks, and you're breathing through a tube and you're really aware of your breathing because it's so unnatural. This whole pile feels like snorkelling. It feels like you're under the water, you're looking, you're trying to take in the situation, but it's almost as if you can't breathe. It's almost like it's artificial, and you're trying to make it feel normal. You're both trying to make it feel normal, but you know there's more going on below the surface. It's like what you can see. And that does honestly feel like you're the saucy devil in this. It feels like you're doing that little bit more, and that voyeuristic feel does come in here. I think I need to be quiet. I'm going to stop there, pile number 1. Anyway, I wish you well with that one. Don't wear your flasher mark, but good luck. Bye. Pile number 2, I'm just going to start talking off the top of my head. There's the first word that came to mind. I was putting these cards out is Lothario. You've got the Fool card here, which is Uranus, which is quick, impactful, exciting, and taking chances, and just basically taking anything. The Venus here and the ninth of houses, the 9th house makes me feel of somebody who's good looking and somebody who knows it, and somebody who moves freely through different groups, if you know what I mean. Somebody who possibly has had a lot of partners and you're not impressed with that. This is what it feels like here. You've got the Page of Cups, the King of Cups. Also, your person, male or female, feels like the child, possibly the last child, the last child, the third child, or something like that, or somebody who's very much loved by mum and dad. Not that child that had to struggle for attention. It feels like somebody who could possibly, is probably really great company, but possibly annoys people because they seem to have everything in their grasp. And people who possibly feel they don't can get annoyed by that type of feeling. The Hierophant here, yeah, to me, makes me feel like strong family values. It feels like Cancer and Leo. To me, this is what it feels like. It feels like Cancer, Leo, Uranus, somebody who's very charming, somebody who always got on well with the teachers in school, somebody who everybody loved, who's extremely good looking. This person comes into your life. You don't really like this type of person, but you like this person. It feels like you're coming across as the Five of Swords. It's almost a case of, give up the facade, and this person saying, this isn't a facade, this isn't, without saying it, this is me. This is my makeup, this is how I've been brought up, this is how I act. You may be slightly different. You may have had a tougher upbringing, or you may be more prepared to... I'm not saying this person is afraid to stick up for what they believe in, but there's a feeling here possibly that, like a Jupiter trine, that they're quite at ease with themselves and they let things roll over them. Literally, with the Venus and the 9th house here. It feels like somebody who travels a lot and has their fingers in many pies. Somebody who just seems gifted at lots of different things. Somebody who seems adored, to be honest, is what I'm thinking here. There's not an arrogant feeling here. It's a feeling of just so, this is what I am. But I feel that when you meet this person, you may think that they're arrogant. It's like, somebody with a lot of earth inside them who likes people to be very down to earth, and this person's just very loving, very open, very easy natured, and you're like, where's your grit type of feeling here. Show me your grit. And then anyway, let me see what happens next. You could meet this person while travelling. You've got Temperance, you've got the Chariot here. You could meet this person on a train. You could meet this person on a bus journey. There could be just, naturally, now that the world is opening up, travelling. Hey, imagine that. There's a feeling here that your person might try and tone down their disposition, probably being able to suss out what you do and what you don't like. It feels like this person doesn't want to push you away and is almost trying to look as if they're more mature than they actually are. This is a really strange feeling because I feel like you initially are not impressed with them, but I feel like deep down this person is a really nice person. But it's just differences possibly. You may have been hurt by somebody who was quite charming before, or you may have been in a relationship where somebody was all talk and looked good but no substance. And you don't want to fall into the same trap. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but there's a nice feeling about this person here. And this person is almost trying to come across as more intellectual, more controlled, more is older. So I don't know whether you are already older than this person or not when you meet them. Not that they're going to catch you up, but my brother used to say that every year that I was catching him up because I'm like a couple of years younger than him. Stupid. Right. Okay, let's go with this one. This one's got a bit of a saucy... The first one actually did as well, a bit of a saucy, is that word? Saucy feeling about it. It feels like a group situation. It feels like lots of women. There is a feeling here that you're both women. A strong feeling here that you're both women. It doesn't have to be, but there is a strong feeling here. It's really thrown me a bit, so hold on. Why am I thinking Madame Bovary? I don't even know why. Okay. The reason I'm thrown as well is that the Temperance card, I'll tell you exactly why I'm thrown. There's lots of different reasons. The Temperance card and the Chariot card made me think of journey. So I'm thinking like train or bus. I'm thinking, generally just travelling, getting on a plane in a different country. I'm feeling this person's going to come across as quite controlled, which is hiding their initial nature. And then you've got what feels like a group situation again, and a building. It feels like, the Three of Cups is like celebrating. It feels like this could be a holiday romance. When you go, you're out abroad and it's hot. Oh my God, I'm going to start fantasizing. And it's hot and you're just going out, but you're actually in a building when this person starts coming towards you. So there could be travel, but it feels like you're inside with this person. Strength card again. The Strength card to me, in this case, I'm looking at your cards up here, has got something to do with different personalities. It feels as well, initially, there's like slight repulsion to this person. It's like, you're not my type. You're not my normal type. And the Fool there with Uranus often is that, that is somebody who's either older than you, somebody who's a different culture, somebody who you're just not used to, and it wakes you up to something different. And this person just feels like they're not going to be fazed by you giving them the cold shoulder. It's like they feel like they're loved anyway, if that makes sense. The Venus in the 9th house is like they've had enough experience in life to know that you rebuffing them or you not actually being interested in them has got nothing to do with them. It's got more to do with just circumstances. It's got more to do with your background or your childhood compared to their childhood. So it doesn't feel like it's enough to push this person away. Isn't that a lovely place to be? When you basically, people are rude to you or people are foul to you and you're like, well, that's just them. That's what this person feels like. It feels yummy. All right, okay. So I'm getting this feeling possibly of different ages, perhaps different nationalities, perhaps movement combined with then being indoors. I don't know if that means anything. And it feels like there's a slight sort of backward and forward between different personalities here. But it feels like a celebration. It feels like you're out somewhere and it feels nice. When you go, this is me fantasizing about going abroad, but when you go abroad and it's hot, I know I can't imagine that here, and you have they're pergolas, I don't know what they're called, outside pubs. It feels like something like that, like you're standing outside a pub and you're chatting and there's you're in a group and you're not really attracted to this person, but yeah, you are. That type of feeling. In both of these spreads, the first and the second one, it feels like the person having the reading is the one that feels like they're more in control. But in the second spread, it almost makes me feel like with this card here and your person coming across really nice, please don't take this the wrong way, it feels like you're almost kidding yourself a bit. It feels like this person's nature underneath that exterior that you might find quite repulsive is actually really sweet. It's like somebody who's very solid, knows who they are, not easily fazed by other people's opinions. And it's just nice. It's just nice. Just a good person. And there's also a feeling here that this is a strange feeling, and I'm really wary of being rude to whoever's having the reading, but it feels like the person having the reading, I can feel this in situations when you're with people, it feels like you almost want to pull on your platonic side to get a rise out of them. And I don't quite know what I mean by that. It's like you don't want to be direct, you want to pull them towards you, but it's that feeling like if you give me any reason or any thought whatsoever that you think you're going to rebuff me, then I'm going to bite. This is not you. I know, I don't actually know who, most of you are here. It's this card here with your person coming across as quite adventurous, quite open. And then you've got the Strength card here, which makes me think that there's tension trying to be batted down in some way. It feels like sexual tension. It feels like if there's this fighty feeling here, and I think it's coming from you, it feels like you're turning on your scorpionic tentacles to try and draw this person towards you for some reason. Because you are attracted to them, even though you don't think you are, because they're probably different from your normal type. Anyway, right. This is going to be an exciting, these are like contradictory terms here, an exciting slow grower. It feels like, and I wonder whether it's you that's slow grower. Do you know what it does feel like? It feels like you're drawn to them. There's slight tension. You're not really even sure whether you even like this person. Then you separate from them. And it almost feels like you get more information about them. That nice woman, that nice guy. And then it starts, I was going to say mouldering. It's actually smouldering. It's like the pulse starts, smouldering inside you. And it's almost, See, you could be quite earthy, because this feels like slow growing passion here. This feels like it doesn't, and I've said this in a couple of reads, it feels like Mr. Bolwood out of Far From the Maddening Crowd, where he gets an accidental, it's like a joke, love letter, doesn't fall in love at all very often, gets an accidental love letter, and then starts slowly falling in love, and then, you know, by God, he does fall in love. This is what this feels like, because it's the Ace of Wands at the end. You've got the Seven of Pentacles, which is nurturing, slow growing, you know, saving, putting things aside. And then you've got the Princess of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. Once again, it's just, I know that the pages are normally offers, but it feels like there was a slight thought here when I got this out of planes, you know, booking journeys to go back or saving up to go and see somebody again. I just put that in there. And the Ace of Wands here, it's like it kicks off later with you. It's like making blancmange. It's like it all sets later on, and it's really exciting. Okay, right, so pile number 2. Your pile is really interesting. To me, it feels like somebody's writing a script about it, and I can't do this, but they're like slipping in bits that are quite, you know, like you're trying to put characters in, so they're slipping in little snippets in the text or the conversation to build your characters as it goes along. It's not, you don't get the whole picture at the beginning. It's like it goes on through the meeting. This is a feeling possibly of travel, of journeys. This is a feeling of somebody meeting somebody who's really happy with themselves. This is a feeling of you meeting somebody who you don't normally meet. It's like a feeling of not your usual type, whether it's to do with age, it may be to do with they just could be very different from you, different culture that you're used to. It just feels exciting to me. It feels as well as if you could meet indoors, even though there feels like it's a journey to get there. I know that covers a lot of ground, hey, but it does honestly feel like that. It feels like there's movement before you get there that is significant. It's not just your journey to the shop, it feels more than that. And it feels like what I would guess is an exciting situation, lots of people involved, indoors, trying to hold your passion down because it feels mixed with antagonism. And then you've got here parting, slow grower, where it actually, that blancmange sets and you like the way it sets. Does that make sense? You feel as if you think you've got control of the situation because you're coming across as a stronger character, but this person feels like they're stepping back and letting you do that, which I know may sound slightly insulting to you, but it's not. It's like somebody who likes to play. It's like somebody who has the confidence to play, which is actually really attractive. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Bye-bye. Okay, this pile number 3, it's always pile number 3, I think, has a really unusual feeling about it of, you've got the Joker card, you've got the get out of jail card, you've got every unusual card in the pack thrown at you here. You've got the raw cash test. Yeah, it is raw cash, isn't it? And look, so many people have said, help me with that one. And you've got the Two of Cups here for you. It feels like, you think that everything is set. We all tend to think that to some degree that everything is set before us. It's not. This really feels like you are on the edge of possibly an important decision with the Two of Cups here. It's like you could take your choice to be with this person, maybe not be with this person, but it feels as if this relationship is like a wrecking ball in some way. It could change your whole direction depending on this particular choice. No pressure here. You've got the Three of Pentacles, the World, and the King of Swords. Your next romantic situation could possibly, and I don't know where I've got this feeling from, could be a friend that you know already, could be somebody that you're already involved with. I know this sounds ridiculous because you're not actually coming to this for, you're probably looking for somebody new, but there's a feeling here, there's even a feeling here that it's like a family member, of somebody who's part of your family. I don't mean like incestuous part of your family, but like friend of your wife, friend of your husband, friend of your brother, that type of thing. And it feels like there's a shocking feeling about this, and I don't know why. It's the first house and Eris, I think. First house is normally something that's straight up front. Eris can be quite disruptive in some ways. And then you've got the raw cash test up here. It's like make of it what you will. But you're coming across as the Two of Cups. It's like a romantic situation that can go either way. But I don't think you're going to simmer into this or simmer out of it. It's a feeling here that it's going to hit you in the face. It's going to change possibly the path of your life in some way. It feels big. You've got the World in the middle. You've got the Three of Pentacles, which to me makes me feel like you may know each other already. It could be work situation, could be a friend situation, could be friend or family. So I don't know if this feels right. It feels really strong, but I don't know if it feels right for you. Let me do some more. Yeah, this one feels like it's almost on hallowed ground in some way. It feels like this person may be untouchable in some way through some sort of magical social, I don't know, saying or thought or feeling like you can't be with this person because of this. And we all, morals are morals, aren't they? So we sort of accept it as it is. And it feels like your next romantic situation is up for the making in some way. It feels like you're drawn towards somebody. A whole pile feels like you know this person already. It feels like you're really drawn towards somebody, and it feels as if the attraction's really big, and it feels emotional. You've got the Three of Wands here is not the normal Three of Wands, and that's setting something already probably in motion here, which I mentioned earlier, and it's got the heart flourishing here. You've got the Ace of Cups on the other side, which is, to me, makes me feel like just falling for somebody. Straightforward, you can think of fancy ways to talk about that, but it's just falling head over heels for somebody. But the Ten of Wands under the World, it feels like it's a heavy burden to carry to have fallen. Chris Isaac. What song is that? What a wicked game you played to make me feel this way. I think I've said that before, but that's what it feels like. Oh, I remember reading about that song, and actually was listening to YouTube, I think, a couple of years ago. I don't know, about a year ago maybe, when he was saying that there used to be some, I've said saucy twice today, some saucy lady that used to creep into his bed late at night, and I'm wondering whether it was like a friend or something that used to come around at 2 o'clock. This is what this feels like. It feels like somebody who is off limits in some way, but it's like once you open the door, it's like you can't shut it. To me, it feels like passion that is untethered, and it's like, yeah, you want to let it in, even though you think it might change your life. Okay, right, let's go to the next bit. Okay, I'm going to say something here which, you don't want to say it because everyone's going to think, well, that's not going to happen. But I'm going to start off and say a few things that come. The first thing that came to my mind here was like at a social event, people watching a stage. You've got the Ten of Pentacles here, the Six of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. It could even be, and this may be just a very, very small percentage of you, I don't know, it was my age, but you're sat in a group, you're watching your kids on stage. There's that feeling here. You could be watching something on stage because the Six of Wands feels like a performance. The Ten of Pentacles feels almost like a family event. The Queen of Cups feels quite nurturing. So that was my first thought. It feels as if it's just a feeling. So try and interpret to your situation that, if you have got, because I feel out of all the three powers, this is something you know already, where you're sat next to somebody that you don't normally get the chance to speak to very easily, and it all starts rumbling. And I'm thinking like watching a performance or something. But this could be anything. The Six of Wands could be like fireworks night, or it feels like a celebration. It feels like a family event, and it feels like, sweet and nice. But it's like starts building and you get carried away with it. It starts off normal is what I'm trying to say. This is not like a date night. This isn't like going out to a restaurant. This is a normal event where it all starts kicking off. It's like something's dropped. It's like dropping a bomb with Eris in the first house. It's something up front. It's something direct. It's like you turn around to each other and say, yeah, we know what's going on. That type of thing. Or somebody confesses. And then you have that choice in that very moment to take. It's like a butterfly effect. It's like you can go either way. Yeah, this one holds with it. Let me put the light. Actually, I'm going to put some more cards out at the end before I start saying it. This card holds with it this moment, or when you can actually feel this moment, which I don't think you'll be able to deny. I don't think you're one of those, is this moment? You will know it's this moment. You will almost feel as if you're on the precipice of, is that such a word? Because it sounds rude, of taking a huge, there's no full card here, of taking a huge leap onto a different path, depending on which one you choose. You can stay on the edge, or you can, the full card is there, lying. Yeah, it's like a feeling of being. This may be something that flows through it. There's like a feeling of dreamy, romantic, and then it all kicks off, and then you're still left that dreamy, romantic, almost, I'm going to say sieve-like. When you can't quite grasp things, when like things are very misty and you're just trying to understand it. It's almost like that actually turns into a different type of denser mist. I don't know what I'm talking about here, where it's still not clear, but it's very clear. It feels like something's said, something gets moving, and then you're pulled apart again, possibly just through life circumstance. It doesn't feel like the second power, there's like a holiday feeling about it. This one feels like, that's not very clear, is it? It feels like the uncertainty at the beginning turns into knowing uncertainty, where you don't know what to do next. Does that make it clear? It's like you know the direction, you know what's happening, but it's not open to, you can't do something with it straight away because it feels like there's too much at stake. Because the Fool card and the Star card here, both of those are forward-thinking cards. It's like, what next? The Fool card is Uranus. The Star card is Uranus. To me, that feels like it projects everything forward. And that's quite a big thing. It's got healing feel here as well with the Eris and the first house. So your next romantic situation has a feeling of, this isn't straightforward. Please don't leave messages at the bottom saying, what on earth are you on about? It isn't straightforward, because I think, you know, if it's a general reading, you've got to pick the bits out which you can almost, if you're very sensitive, you can feel them coming towards you. You can see situations, you can dream about them. And so you pick the bits out that apply to you, and hopefully you can understand it a bit better and react in a way that suits you and makes you feel better, makes you feel like a better person. But this has a feeling of whatever you want to make of it. This is a feeling of something that somebody you may know already, somebody who's quite off limits in some way, but you've got romantic intentions towards this person. I said earlier, it could be friend, it could be a friend of the family, it could be somebody you work with. And I haven't said that in the other two spreads, but it feels quite strong here. It feels like whatever decision you make will weigh heavy on you. But it feels like, to me, it feels like one of those situations where you're so drawn towards this person, you're prepared to sacrifice something else, I don't know what that is, to go forward. I think you may meet in what feels like a very mundane, normal situation, other people involved. There's something to do with being a show, something to do with being an event or a celebration, and it feels like, as you know this person already, I guess that's a feeling here of it, the uncertainty turning into projected uncertainty. What will happen in the future? You know, what can we make of this now that you've confessed, now that we've both confessed, now we've basically put what is the term? Something among the pigeons. The wood amongst the pigeons? The cat amongst the pigeons. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes, I know. My mind is not right. Okay. So your next romantic situation will be like a shocker. It will be like a shocker to me. Not shocker through the person. I think you know that person already. It will be a shocker that there's like a direct confession. Something said, something revealed, that throws you even though you know it's coming. And it's like, well, that takes all that confusion away, and now I need to know what to do next. Right, I'm going to leave you there, pile number 3. I hope that helps. I know that it's a bit higgledy-piggledy, but life's a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy. Anyway, best of luck. Bye-bye.